Hi, this is Dave, Fell Running Guide. Welcome to this week's navigation task. This week we're in the Cheviots on the Scottish-English border, and what I want to know is where was the photo taken from, and can you identify on the map this feature circled here? We're using the Ordnance Survey 1 to 25,000 Explorer map from this for this task. So there's a map. There's a photo. I've taken the red circle off this photo just to give you a chance to look a little bit more closely. So it's this hill summit here that we're looking for. So what can we see on the photo? Well, in the foreground we've got the ground dropping away slightly. We've got this track here that comes down and then it disappears here. There's evidence of possibly something there, whether it's a path or a track, same or different one. But then here in the middle distance we can see a very clear track continuing on. To the left of the track as we look, we've got this fence line and it drops out of sight, so down the hill just out of sight there. And then in the further on in the distance we've got some obvious features. We've got this very obvious straight line of trees extending back towards us with trees beyond it, and then we've got other blocks of trees, and in the far distance high ground. They may well be off the map. So can we work out any of that on the map? So let's have a look first of all for that distinctive line of trees. So we've got one here that it could be, here that it could be, here that it could be. There's only one kind of large block of trees behind our thin line, which is that. So could we be looking at this block? Let's have a look. So this area of trees here is on a hillside with high ground to its left as we look, and it drops down to the right, down there, with trees behind. So this line of trees here drops from the high point of 395 and then downhill, downhill, downhill to the stream here. So that fits. If we were looking at this line of trees here, well, we'd be able to see this kind of re-entrant with a stream coming up it to the right, and it would be dropping away to the left as we look, so that didn't fit. If we were looking at this line of trees, well, it's going uphill quite steeply to the right with a stream to the left, so that doesn't fit. So makes sense that we are looking across at this long line of trees with a big forest behind. So we're looking over from here somewhere. So we're looking almost straight along this line, not exactly, but pretty much straight along that line there. So if we trace a line back from there, back along, back along, back along, puts us over here. Could it be somewhere on the Pennine Way? Well, remember, we're looking for a track and a fence line next to it. So here, this double dashed line is a track, and we've got fence line here, comes along here, comes along here, comes along here. So could we be on this track here next to this fence looking across to there? Well, let's have a look. If we see at this point here, the track is starting to go away from the fence line. There's a bit of distance here from the fence to the track, and the track is starting to drop away, and certainly the fence is disappearing from view. So we couldn't be at this point here because the fence and the track are right next to each other. So we have to be a bit further away, closer to here, where the fence and the track deviate from each other. And also you can see from the contours here, the ground is starting to get a little bit steeper, so that would indicate that drop where the fence disappears from view. So possibly around this point here. What about having a look at the feature that we're looking for? So I've just zoomed in a bit here and we can see we've got this track here, runs along and then definitely curves off around to the left of that feature. So at this point the track is heading straight for that small summit. We can see here it looks like we've got another boundary line to the right of the track, so whether that's the fence continuing to the right of the track and then kinks away and then maybe disappears, whether it continues we can't quite see, but we're looking for this definite bit here where the track contours round to the left of this summit feature. So if we look here on this flatter area, we can see the track and we can see this fence line to the right this time, and then this track comes round and it just contours round behind this white no. So that is the actual feature, that contour, ring contour going around the 417 height. That is the feature we're looking at. It couldn't be this feature here. Some people suggest it might be that, but that would be hidden away behind white no, and it's not really a significant summit. So the answers this week are: the photo was taken from that point just as the track starts to leave the fence line and the ground starts to steepen, and we're looking over to this height of white no, and that was the line of trees and this was the forest beyond it. So not too difficult to identify this feature once we could identify that track, and it's almost finding a definite feature in the landscape and working back from that. The mistake a few people made is saying that we were further up here on the Pennine Way, but we'd have been right next to that fence line. The fence and the track would have been side by side, and they weren't. So that was this week's answer. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Look out for next week's navigation task. Bye for now.